People used to treat me like I was nothing, just a footnote in their corporate world. I was Kesha Williams, a 24-year-old food delivery driver, navigating a city where ambition clashed with reality. This world was Tech Corp, where engineers with advanced degrees were paralyzed by a system crash affecting multiple companies. As they floundered, I stood in the background, invisible yet armed with an observation that would change everything. When Michael Harrison, the CTO, scoffed at my unsolicited suggestion about an error code, it was clear he had placed me firmly in my place. His disdain lent a bitter taste to my determination. Little did he know, his derision would not silence me. It would stir something deeper. As he tried to sabotage my delivery apps, I felt the weight of systemic prejudice, but also the spark of resilience. I was defending not just my dignity, but the future I dreamt of, while supporting my sick mother. It was a seemingly hopeless battle until I found myself coding again at midnight, driven by the need to prove my worth. With Jennifer Chun at my side, we ignited a plan fueled by unwavering resolve. My knowledge turned into a weapon, revealing the vulnerabilities Tech Corp desperately hid. As my platform gained traction, I found my voice in a male-dominated field. I didn't just want revenge on Michael. I wanted justice for everyone who believed they were less than. When I confronted him with undeniable proof of his failures, it was not just my victory, it was a reckoning. From the ashes of dismissal rose Secure Code Solutions, a beacon for talent often overlooked. I learned that true power lies not in taking down the oppressor, but in lifting others up. Join me on this journey of resilience, for it's more than my story. It's a call to rise above and change the narrative. You think you can fix this? Michael's voice dripped with condescension, eyes scanning Kesha with a smirk.
You're just a delivery driver.
The room fell silent, engineers in their slick suits shifting uncomfortably as Kesha's cheeks flushed. It's an error code issue, she replied, keeping her voice steady despite the weight of his dismissal. If you just look at the logs, I bet you'll see it's a simple variable misconfiguration. I can help you sort it in 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Michael laughed, a harsh sound like breaking glass. How quaint. Let's let the professionals handle this. His gaze turned back to the screens, but Kesha could feel the weight of his words pressing her down. Some professionals haven't done anything in 2 days, she muttered under her breath. Suddenly, Michael turned, the color draining from his face as he caught her gaze. You want to put your money where your mouth is, he shot back, trampling over her attempted agency. You'll get blacklisted from the delivery apps if you try to interfere here. Kesha's heart raced, the stakes rising like a tide threatening to drown her. That's corporate sabotage, she shot back, anger flaring. Call it whatever you want, just know your place. Humiliated but fierce, Kesha clenched her fists. Michael had thrown the gauntlet down, but beneath the surface of her embarrassment flowed a river of determination. There was power in knowledge, and she would not be silenced. The wind-swept streets on her delivery bike, the thrill of the city was muted beneath the growing weight in her chest. Each ping on her phone was a reminder of the lives she moved through. Yet everyone seemed to pass her by, engrossed in their screens. At TechCorp, the engineers had struggled for days, caught in a web of error codes that seemed cosmic in their complexity. Yet Kesha saw something other than despair, the path to understanding. That morning, she found herself in a room full of suits and egos, her suggestion hesitantly leaving her lips. What if the error stems from the input buffer? The room froze. The skeptical replies simmered like unspent energy. Michael, the CTO, smirked, eyes gleaming with derision. Let's not take delivery suggestions seriously. Each laugh felt like an arrow shot at her heart, and her shoulders tightened. Wounds laced with humiliation had stacked high, but today, something snapped inside her. As she packed up her delivery bag, Kesha remembered late nights spent poring over coding tutorials, reveling in the thrill of a fixed bug blossoming into working software. The reminder of her own potential ignited a steady flame within. 2 minutes, she thought fiercely, as a plan formed in her mind. But it wasn't just fixing the crisis anymore. It was dismantling the arrogance wrapped in that office. As Michael continued his small acts of sabotage, she resolved to rise, no longer a shadow in someone else's story, but the author of her own. She wouldn't be silenced, not anymore. Kesha stood in front of the assembled engineers, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "I think I know what's wrong," she said, a calm certainty in her tone. The room fell silent, the weight of her words thick in the air. Michael, leaning back with arms crossed, smirked. "Come on, you really think you can figure this out in 2 minutes? Just deliver the food." Kesha's gaze narrowed. "It's not about where I work, it's about what I know." The subtle shift in her demeanor didn't go unnoticed. No longer the submissive delivery driver, she was a problem solver, ready to reclaim her narrative. With newfound clarity, Kesha began to explain her insights on the error code. "If you check the server logs, I suspect you'll find the query overloading the system, an easy fix," she offered, her hands steady despite the turmoil inside her. "Right, because you're the expert now," Michael shot back, but tension crackled in the air. Others in the room began to murmur, some nodding, some intrigued. Kesha felt adrenaline surge as she continued. "Beck, look it up. I believe in data-driven decisions, even if they come from unexpected places." Confidence infused her words, and it ignited a shift behind her. Jennifer, a weary yet resolute member of the team, spoke up. "She's right. We need to listen." Kesha's small victory transformed the atmosphere. Each nod of agreement stoked her courage. It wasn't just about the system crash anymore. It was about carving out space for her voice. She turned to Michael, meeting his gaze directly. "You underestimate me, but this isn't just a delivery driver talking. Fix it now, and let's move forward." The seeds of her comeback were sown, her journey just beginning as she readied herself for what lay ahead. Kesha stood backstage at the TechCorp auditorium, her heart pounding in sync with the ticking clock. A hushed crowd filled the seats, the engineers she once watched dismiss her, and the skeptics who doubted her. Today she wielded a secret weapon, the auditing platform that had unraveled the vulnerabilities of the very systems Michael Harrison oversaw. As she stepped onto the stage, Michael's confident posture shifted. His face transformed as panic flickered in his eyes upon recognizing the familiar code she displayed. The screen illuminated the flaws he'd fought to bury, flaws that had almost sunk the company amid the recent tech chaos. The murmurs of the audience grew louder, building to a crescendo of disbelief as Kesha systematically dismantled his reputation. 20 engineers failed, she said, her voice steady but fierce. But a delivery driver found the way forward. Kesha could feel every gaze locking onto Michael, once invincible, now crumbling as he squirmed under scrutiny. The tables had turned. She was no longer the underdog, but the champion, exposing the arrogance that had nearly cost companies millions. A mixture of awe and anger rippled through the audience. A silent applause resonated in the air. As she revealed the implications of her discoveries, Michael's facade shattered. The tech giant's pride was laid bare. The man who had belittled her now stood exposed, red-faced and stammering, as board members exchanged incredulous looks. She'd not only unearthed critical flaws, but illuminated the reflective biases that lived within TechCorp's very foundation. Kesha felt a quiet triumph, a sense of justice washing over her. Her success wasn't loud or vengeful. It was a scenario born of resilience and skill. The deafening applause erupted only after she stepped away from the podium, leaving Michael to grapple with the consequences of his actions. She smiled, knowing she'd reshaped not just her path, but the entire tech industry's view on talent and diversity. This was her moment of justice, and it was filled with a newfound purpose. As I look back on that whirlwind experience at TechCorp, I realize how it changed me. I entered as Kesha Williams, a delivery driver underestimated by many, but I emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined. The conflict ignited something inside me, a fire to prove that talent is not confined to a title or a corporate badge. Navigating the murky waters of prejudice and power dynamics, I took my experience and transformed it into a powerful platform, aiming to change the narrative in the tech industry, one that celebrates diversity rather than stifles it. So, as I move forward with my new consulting firm and the lessons ingrained in me, I can't help but wonder, do you think I went too far in seeking justice? What would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever faced someone who treated you the way Michael treated me? I invite you to share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Let's discuss the complexities of power, bias, and justice together.